folks, welcome to today's Coffee with John. We are looking at one verse in the Bible which gives a great example of how things can go wrong if you don't take things in context. So the verse, let me just read the verse for you. It's 1 John 5:18. We know that anyone born of God does not continue to sin. The one who is born of God keeps them safe, and the evil one cannot harm them. Now, there are people who read that out of context and they would say, well, wait a minute. If you're born of God, you don't sin. So therefore, Christians are people who don't sin. What we mean by context is this. There are 4 chapters and 17 verses before this, and there are a couple of verses afterwards. John doesn't contradict himself. He has already said that if we say we are without sin, we're lying. So what is this actually saying? I think it's not encouraging a kind of super spirituality or a sinless perfectionism. It's saying that we do not sin as we did before we turned to Christ. Yes, there's a battle within us, but we don't love sin. We want to turn away from sin. We long to be sinless. Now, there is a problem here with born of God, the one born of God. So it says that if anyone is born of God, they do not sin, and the one born of God keeps them safe. Well, I want to say just about that the first one is talking about those of us who are Christians. If we're born of God, we have this hate relationship with sin. We do not deliberately sin. We do not want to sin. We try and shy away from sin. But it's the second part, the one born of God keeps them safe, is not referring to us. We do not keep ourselves safe. It's Christ who keeps us safe. John 10:28 puts it beautifully. I give my sheep eternal life. They shall never perish. No one shall snatch them out of my hand. My Father who's given to me is greater than all. No one can snatch them out of my Father's hand. I and the Father are one. Do you realize what an enormous relief that is? If I looked in a mirror and honestly thought, I need to keep myself safe by not doing this and not doing that and doing that, I'm stuffed. I know I'm stuffed. And yet I can struggle against sin in my life with confidence because I know that the one who keeps me safe is Christ, not me. And paradoxically, that makes you much less likely to continue in sin than if you think you can fight sin by yourself. Because sometimes fighting sin by yourself, you end up pouring petrol on the fire. So Jackman quotes Toplady's hymn, "A sovereign protector I have, unseen yet forever at hand, unchangeably faithful to save, almighty to rule and command. He smiles and my comforts abound. His grace as the dew shall descend, and walls of salvation surround the soul he delights to defend." It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to express gratitude for it. I marvel at both the simplicity and the profundity of it. I marvel at the grace. I marvel at the assurance that it gives. And it doesn't make me want to go out and sin. It doesn't make me say, hey, I can sin and it doesn't matter because I'm forgiven. What it makes me want to do is serve the one who gave himself for me so that ultimately I can be sinless. That's the supreme motivation, isn't it? That's a greater motivation even than fear of hell or fear of other people's opinions. How can I do this to the one who loved me and gave himself for me? Well, God bless you. This is Thursday, so that means we shall see you tomorrow as we come towards the end of this wonderful letter. Bye.